We are back. It is the new wave of sports that is sweeping the nation, where we're not just accurate, but we are spot on. It's the Spot On Sports. Tony Monk here with... Man, introduce yourself, man. I don't even know where to start. You let me know. You let me know.
Well, I'm Law Nation. If you don't know me, look up Law Nation Sports and you'll see my face.
That's all you got to do is type it in.
Name,
that's all you got to do is type it in.
I tell you what, I don't like the Cowboys at all, man. I can't stand them.
I always knew it was something, man.
I can't stand them, but I love them.
That's it.
I love the Cowboys, and this is what I do. I talk Cowboys football and beyond. And anything to do with the Cowboys, I'm on it.
Yes, and I just want to get right into it, man.
Right.
We've seen so many changes with this team. The off-season moves, which I would probably say is the best in the last couple of years.
It is.
I'm calling them Gilligan's Island because you know exactly who I'm referring to when I say that.
Right.
And the changes on the offensive side of the ball. No more Kellen Moore.
No more.
Mike McCarthy is calling plays for the first time since 20.
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
He's a head coach. He got stripes on the wall.
And he got a ring on his finger.
Where is this team going, Law?
Upwards. 12-5 last year, 12-5 the previous year. We won a playoff game on the road. We didn't do that in 30 years.
Law. I'm sorry, Law. I'm so sorry.
No worry.
I'm sorry, Law.
That's what we do. We build a plane while it's in the air, baby.
That's it.
Yes, indeed. We are here live at the SportsCon event brought to you by SOS, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Indeed.
And Law Nation.
Yes, indeed. So, elevation.
Yeah.
We went 12-5 last season with a guy by the name of Anthony Brown that was on the opposite side of my guy Trayvon Diggs.
Yes.
On top of that, we had another Brown. I don't know if they're related, but his name was Noah Brown.
That's it.
And both of those Browns are gone, right?
Yes.
So when you have dirt, you got to get rid of them. Especially that's what Grandma said. When you got dirty draws, you got to get rid of the Brown. So hopefully, by nature of getting rid of the Brown, we are better. No offense, I was just trying to put a little joke and humor to it. Shout out to Noah Brown for what he did last season. That was his best season ever, by the way. But the reality of it is he is not a Brandon Cooks.
No, it's not conducive to what your team is trying to build.
True.
Now, it's great. Wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5, and he's able to step in and do a little more, but not conducive to anything that's necessarily long-term or what we want.
Right. So consistency is everything.
Right.
Dedication and discipline. That's my foundation. And that should be the Cowboys' foundation, too. So when we start talking about consistency, we got CeeDee Lamb. He's going to be one of those all-pro wide receivers that finna get into his 4th season, right? So this is pretty much, quote-unquote, a contract year for him, although they put him on a rookie's contract for a one-year deal. Yeah, so I'm looking at it like this dude is about to explode. And then you're going to add in the fact that you have Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup coming a year removed now from that ACL. It's about to get nasty for us in a good way.
And I want to ask you this because, again, I watch the Law Nation videos. Me and my guys at home, we scroll through it, everything. It's between you and Vach. And you kind of answered the Tony Pollard question before I even got to it. I saw what you said about Deuce Vaughn.
Okay.
What's the chances? Do we get to see this young kid hit the field, and in what capacity? Obviously, it's a heavy running back room now.
Yeah.
Rico Dowdle's back. They like Malik Davis.
Yeah.
They got some guys. What's the chance that this young cat can come in and steal some snaps?
Slow and steady wins the race. I would say this, and I know a lot of people got reservations on Deuce Vaughn because of his height and stature and what have you. But when you look at his resume, his total body of work, it was right there with Jahmyr Gibbs. It was right there with Bijan Robinson. So I look at it like this. We're not asking Deuce Vaughn to be the number 1 back here or the number 2 back. We looking for him to fill in some of that weak spot that we may have from Tony Pollard and from my guy Rojo if he continues to do what he needs to do to make this team. And let's not sleep on Malik Davis. So when you start to think about those things, let me ask you this. Who was the power back for the Eagles last season?
Was it Scott?
Boston Scott?
Boston?
He wasn't even, he's a scat back for them, right? They didn't have no power back.
Not necessarily.
Who's the power back for, dare I say, the Kansas City Chiefs?
Pacheco was,
him and Tony Pollard the same size. They're about 217, 218. What I'm trying to say here is, I get it. We may want to have Ezekiel Elliott back to be that power back, but it may not even be necessary.
It may not be.
Because you can do running back by committee. I'm not saying that that's the end-all, be-all, but that is the trend. Even the Niners, they got Kyle Juszczyk, right?
Yeah.
The boy is big, physical,
and they figure out how to use him.
But they figure out how to use him. We got a guy on the team named Hunter Luke. He can be that version for us. But if we can continue to just be a team to use all running backs, we'll be okay.
Spot on Sports, Tony Mark here with Lawless. I got just a couple more questions for you. This is a busy man, so I'm going to let him go in a little bit. It all ends and begins with Dak Prescott.
It do.
Here we are. You're 7.
Yeah.
Everybody's got everything to say about the kid now. We know what the injuries have been, but we know when he's on the field, he is productive.
Right.
What do we need to expect from Dak Prescott? What does he need to expect from himself?
I say this all the time when the expectations meets reality.
Yeah.
The reality of it is Dak Prescott was in a system that wasn't even built for him. Starting out the gate, the Cowboys drafted Dak Prescott in the 4th round. That team was built for Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Romo, at that time. And then they kind of changed over the course of the years, but they didn't get to the good strides until 2018-19, right? And right at that point, I know it sounds like bevies of excuses,
Sure.
but we got to bring all of this in for context. We had Kellen Moore, who was learning on the job to be an offensive coordinator.
Was a quarterback yesterday.
Was a quarterback yesterday.
Coordinator today.
Yeah. So when the expectations meet reality.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say now is heading into the 2023 season, the 8th year for Dak Prescott, now under a real coaching system, a real philosophy. Things are done now with plan, precision, right? Also with rules to it. So when there's a deep over, yes, we would have a smoke route underneath now, right? There would not be just, okay, we're going to drop back and empty, right, and have Dak Prescott to throw it on 2nd and 2. No, we're going to have concept and principles now.
We got a plan.
With West Coast. Yeah. I seen my guy, Kellen Moore, when we get inside the 30, that's when he called the reverse sweep. We get on the short side of the field, he throw the tunnel screen that way. No.
When we get close to the end zone, the more questionable our play calling becomes.
Yeah. So now we're going to attack with wisdom and understanding of the game, and that is what Mike McCarthy brings to the table. I tell people this all the time. There's no shortcut to success.
Sure.
There's none. So the Cowboys now getting rid of Kellen Moore, and he may be good down the line, just like I said with Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, but they had to get it out of the mud.
And they had the coaching trees there to support
them. So the expectations meeting the reality is that Mike McCarthy knows what he needs to be done. He's going to have Brian Schottenheimer to advise him on some of the things, and this offense still will be top 5.
My last question for you now. I don't know where all this talk about. Philadelphia thought they did some last year.
Yeah, they thought.
Rightfully so.
True.
Rightfully so.
True.
They got to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts. Nick Sirianni found out how to run the ball after about a year or so.
Yeah.
This a gap that everybody speaks on between Dallas and Philadelphia. How much is really weighed into that, and how close are Dallas and Philly actually to each other?
Well, it got to be real close. And you see this crack on this table.
Exactly.
That gap, it may not even be.
I saw we split the season last year. That's all I saw.
Right. I seen a Dak Prescott with a broken thumb. Nobody add this in. Put 40 points on those boys. 40 points. So with that being said, there's no gap. Can you imagine if he put 40 points on those boys with Noah Brown and a guy that was 33 years old named T.Y. Hilton? What the world y'all think he's going to do for the 2023 season, if healthy? So there's no gap. And I don't recall Jalen Hurts playing defense.
Right.
So, and he never put up 40 points on us. He never put up over 26 points on us.
How does the NFC East shake out this year? That's my last question.
No. NFC East check out on top with the Cowboys. I would make this prediction. Cowboys, Washington, Eagles, Giants.
I like the Washington fans. They got a roster.
They got it.
They got a roster.
They do.
They got a roster.
They got it.
I don't need to tell you where to find this man. You can go on Google, YouTube, type in Law Nation. His face will be there.
Yeah.
You don't got to look far. Law Nation, thank you so much for sitting down with us, man.
I appreciate that time, man. Appreciate you.
Really appreciate it.
Yes, indeed.
This is Spot on Sports. We'll be back.
DC for life. Salute.